Hi guys, it's Matt Hickey from Pit Lane Parlay. I'm coming out with a new series called Absurdness. It is something that I thought up, I don't know how. I think it was because oftentimes we see Miller Mailbag questions come in, and we see internet comments on Facebook, Twitter, Racer Mag, Motorsport, Autosport that really make you scratch your head and wonder sometimes. So I have decided to kind of sift through, starting with Miller's Mailbag on Racer Magazine's website, sift through some of the old ones and kind of break it down by year. So this first episode here is my reactions to some of the great questions that we've seen on Miller's Mailbag. That was 2014. It was the first year that I found them on the Racer Mag website. I think if I did some digging, I might be able to find some on Speed when he was doing this back in the day, but maybe for another day. But for now, here's my reactions to some of the best Miller Mailbag questions of 2014. I appreciate you guys watching. Pissed Off Paul writes, I just got my tickets for this year's Indy 500 today, and believe it or not only did they raise their prices for the 2014 Indy 500, but they also raised them for the 2015 race. How arrogant is Mark Miles and the rest of the Speedway? This isn't 1992. They don't have to sell out anymore and keep raising the prices. Is Tony back in control? Please pay those great people in Boston for some more advice on how to hurt the Speedway and the Indy 500. Common theme here. First of all, I'm going to need to check this dude's birth certificate. Not sure his name's actually Pissed Off Paul. Really questioning that one. Secondly, one of the common themes of the 2014 mailbag is that people do have a disdain for Mark Miles, which I think looking at where we are nowadays is kind of funny. So some of these are just funny, man. Tom from California writes, I know most normal guys sneak away to drink with their buddies or have sex with wild women, but I'm thinking about sneaking away to get a few laps with Corey Kuzman in Ventura, California. Do you know anything positive or negative about the school? What? Why do we phrase the question like that? That was so weird. What? What a weird thing to end up on the internet. Scott from Indiana said, heard a rumor today that I wanted to pass along. Everyone agrees that the IMS road course is flat and boring, but my source was saying the longer-term plan was to eliminate the 4 holes of the Brickyard Crossing golf course inside the track to incorporate the land into new design that will allow it to have some elevation changes. For those wondering, here is what the Indianapolis Motor Speedway looked like in 2014 with the golf course inside. And here's what it looked like about 10 days ago, according to Google Images. So, yeah. Well done. Well done, Scott. Ignacio from Uruguay writes, please stop using the term eyeballs. We are diehard fans, or casual fans, or snake pit partygoers. For executives, we may be attendance, viewers, audience, customers, but we aren't just eyeballs. I haven't been on social media for a while. I've seen some people get offended over a lot of different various items and things. I did not think we would live in a world where the word eyeballs would offend us. So that's a new one. Henry from California writes, all you guys do is expletive and moan about how the sky is falling in IndyCar. Last year being my first ever watch of the series, I have to say I was greatly entertained and I'm hooked for 2014. Please, people, it's obvious the series will recover from the drought they are in, so just enjoy the racing. Thank you, Henry. We need more of that in the mailbag and on the internet in general. So thank you. DA from Chicago writes, boy, I would hate to be working in the IMS ticket office right now. Sebastian Saavedra and Michaela Lotion confirmed for next season. The phones must be ringing off the hook. Now, I found this one kind of ironic. There are a couple ones that are kind of ironic now that you look back on them because, of course, the Indy 500 happened, obviously, but the first Grand Prix of Indy happened in 2014, and Sebastian Saavedra got pole but stalled, and Michaela Lotion wrecked into him. So, I can't disagree with what he's saying, though. I don't think anybody was buying tickets because the lotion was there, but you never know. Pat from Wisconsin writes, it's obvious NASCAR does pay attention to IndyCar. They copied your grid walk with Michael Waltrip and also copied IndyCar's knockout qualifying. They made it sound like original ideas by them. But I don't think IndyCar invented either one of those. Well, grid walk was definitely Martin Brundle, and knockout qualifying, probably been done somewhere else for a long time. Unfortunately, I'm not educated enough to know that, but I guarantee IndyCar did not invent that. Thankfully, we had a writer come in the next week and say, NASCAR copying IndyCar in the grid walk and knockout qualifying, you should have set the record straight because they were copied from Formula One. Thank you, Ben from Tennessee. Another good one out there. So good job. Mark from California writes, what a stinker of a Super Bowl this year. Is it true that NASCAR has suggested to the NFL that they reset the score of the game to a tie at halftime to ensure that we'll always have an exciting fourth quarter finish? You can't help but laugh. That's funny. Some of these mailbag questions are really funny. Some of them are really stupid, but that's a good one. I like that. Dino from Pennsylvania writes, it seems Power Drive's thinking there will not be any penalties for anything he does. Just because he didn't hit anyone the second time he drove into the turn in the second race doesn't mean it wasn't reckless. He should have had a one-lap penalty. Title's sponsor and race promoter? I smell another conspiracy, and Newgarden and Sarah Fisher Hartman Racing got hosed again. John writes in, any chance Neva gets a ride at Indy? Miller replies, Tom is too blind, Jerry's too smart, and Jan is too busy. I actually want to know who John was referring to here because I think Miller's response here is kind of funny. I certainly don't think the gas man's getting back in the car anytime soon if that's what John's asking. Sticks writes, found out last Friday afternoon that IndyCar had dropped double file restarts at all races. I was going to the Texas race, been going since 2003, but I blew it off. And now I'm boycotting IndyCar. They just took a marginal TV product and made it a lot worse. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm bummed that double file restarts are gone too, but boycotting? Really? I'd love to see if this guy's at the Indy 500. I bet he has been since 2014. All right, bear with me on this one, guys. Lauren writes in, on the issues of IndyCar promotion, you cannot promote boring. Next year's Indy 500 race weekend. On Saturday, they need to grid 66 Indy light cars. 2 cars must share one pit stall. Race distance 430 miles with the winner taking home $2.5 million. Eligible drivers must be American or Canadian-born citizens. Offer a $2.5 million bonus on Sunday's Indy 500 if one of the top 5 Indy Lights finishers wins the 500. I bet most of the 33 card field Sunday would be an American-born or Canadian-born drivers. Promotion problem solved. I don't even know where to begin with this one. There's so much wrong with it. 66 car Indy Light race. What? What world are we living in? Also, the subtle xenophobia. American or Canadian-born citizens only? Yikes. No, don't like that. Don't like that one bit. That's, yeah. I think this one takes the cake for most cringeworthy question that I've seen in the 2014 mailbags. Yeah. Oof. Ryan from West Michigan writes in, Mark Miles' continued insistence to end the season in August is not only stupid, but also an insult to the fans of this sport. The sports cars can get 1.1 on a tape-delayed race. IndyCar will do just fine in the fall. IndyCar's not in competition with the NFL. If Miles doesn't realize that, he needs to quit his job immediately. There is no excuse for this stupidity, period. I'm not angry. Not insulted. I'm not stupid. Clearly is. Now, whatever we think of Mark Miles and what he does or doesn't do for the sport, I think we can all agree he's kind of a smart guy. He's done a lot of good stuff. I was just reading the 2015 mailbag where someone called him a tennis hack, which I chuckled at. But I think he knows what he's doing. And obviously now knowing where we are, we're in pretty good hands. So I think he is angry, Ryan. I think you are angry. Indy Steve from Oregon writes, Kurt Busch finishes 6th and wins Rookie of the Year at Indianapolis. Juan Montoya wins the Pocono 500. Looks like NASCAR is a mighty fine feeder series for aspiring IndyCar drivers. Well, we're just going to gloss over the fact that Montoya was a rookie in kart in 1999 and won the championship and exceeded in 2000 as well and then went to Formula One. But yeah, he was a NASCAR driver. Yep. Mm-hmm. Skip from Florida writes, totally pissed at the debacle of officiating by the Verizon Penske Cars series. What a disgrace and display of favoritism along with stupidity and scramble to cover up their mess. Walker's failed attempt at excuses was a total disgrace. Frank writes, I was shocked to see all the empty seats around the track, not only at Milwaukee, but at many races this year. This reminds me of similar scenes just before Cart died. I'm afraid this same low attendance situation might lead to the same fate for IndyCar series. It is 2021. Yeah, we're still going. We are still going. We're still there. Mike from Wisconsin writes, in a previous column, you said that you doubted the Haas Formula One team will ever race in Formula One. Considering the successful history of Gene Haas, his racing teams, as well as his businesses, why do you feel this way? Miller says, he may prove me wrong, but I don't see how you can run an F1 team from here, and he can't be that rich. At least he won't be for long. Well, I mean, Mazepin's dad, it's 2021 still. Mazepin's dad hasn't bought the team quite yet, but we are on year 6 of Haas. So he's doing all right. He's doing okay. Jay writes, so Team Penske just tested the aero kits at Homestead and about to test it again at Texas Motor Speedway, and you guys didn't tell us a thing about it? Come on. I bet you the editor, whoever has to kind of read through these and make it all pretty for the website, probably cringed several times reading this and like, oh, well, I got to post it as is, I guess. So we'll just spell come on with 47 O's or whatever in there. Just wanted to highlight a positive one here. Frank writes, I got a crazy idea. If Alonso goes on sabbatical from F1 next year, IndyCar should make him an offer. I'm sure Penske, Ganassi, or Andretti can field an extra car. Imagine the hype. I remember Manzelmania. This is exactly what IndyCar needs. Miller responds, might be worth a phone call, and I think Chip would jump on it, but not sure about IndyCar and if they can afford it. But Alonso could make a difference at the box office. Nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. God, I miss Alonso in IndyCar. That was so fun. Chad from Arizona writes, in your mailbag, you've made several comments about how IndyCar made no attempt to get Sarah Fisher in a car, even when she was a current fan favorite. And then they made no effort to keep Danica and Simona from leaving. This raises a single question for me. What the hell is wrong with these people? As Michael from The Office once said, hey, Jim, what do you mean by these people? That's it for Absurdness Part 1 of Miller's Mailbag 2014. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. More to come here soon.